In terms of like the playoff performer, we look at who could become a UFA in a few weeks. Mitch Marner, Sam Bennett, they're both represented by the same agent, Darren Ferris.
Yeah.
How would you describe, or who would you choose is either made more money or lost money in terms of playoff performance? In other words, like has Bennett made $1 million or $2? And do you think
$2 million a year Bennett has made from playoffs?
Do you think conversely Marner lost any money?
Probably
because that conversation never comes up.
No, because you never lose money. You just there's always somebody hungry enough to look at the 100-point player, and he's probably worthy of a big contract depending on what the market is. It's just not Toronto probably anymore because of all the baggage. So I don't think he's lost money. I would be a little bit hesitant if I was a general manager of another team who was a playoff contender. I would be concerned about the way he's performed in the playoffs over the years.
Yeah, well, there's a big difference between teams that want to get over the hump in the playoffs and teams that want to make a splash in free agency.
Right.
Detroit, Buffalo, Chicago.
Yeah,
San
so
Jose.
he hasn't lost a cent to those teams.
No,
like
exactly.
the Anaheims and the Detroits and the San Jose's and probably maybe even Vegas. He hasn't even, because I think there's always those franchises too who feel like it'll be different with us. Okay, Toronto's problem is not Mitch, and let's face it, Toronto's problem isn't Mitch. It's some weird thing with the mix.
Right.
But so they'll always say, with our mix, you put him in our group.
Right.
And Vegas is probably saying that, and he'll be fine. Right.
Yeah.
And I think everybody believes that, and that they may be right. We won't know until if it happens and they win a cup again.
Don't you think, and he'll go to free agent, there'll be 25 teams that want him, and it's differing numbers. But if the Florida Panthers say, you want to come play for a team? This is what we have for you. Take it or leave it. It's not, hey, we're gonna move this player out to find $14 million for you. It's like, we've got a number, and if you fit, great. If not, good luck to you.
Honestly, it might be Sam Bennett's number. Who wants it first? Because they are an example of a team that clearly only cares about the playoffs. And I guess that's what I'm getting at is
I think Sam Bennett is a $6.5 million a year player based on the regular season and a $9 million a year player because of his playoffs. So there's 2.5, and that's 30% more I basically added
and
to
listen,
his contract.
it's dangerous because he's not a young guy, and if the playoff performance, if the bounces don't go his way and all of a sudden it's 50 points in the regular season and he's snake bitten in the playoffs and you're out in the first round, you're like, wow, we just paid that guy a lot of money. But to your point of the Anaheims and Chicago's and San Jose's, they're a different story. Clearly, Marner is a much more important piece than Sam Bennett would be. But a team like Toronto, a team like Florida, a team like Dallas, a team like Colorado, there's 7 or 8 teams who are constantly in the window, always competitive. In the playoffs, Sam Bennett is a better performer.
He might be a missing piece that you need.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
He's not going to get 100 points. He's not going to.
So would you okay if Toronto was to get Sam Bennett at $9 million? Would you be okay with that?
I think I would be able to stomach that.
I think you have to.
Yes, I know. I get it. It's a big number. It's a huge number. But they
also need a supplementary player to if Marner's 100 points goes out the window and Tavares is 38 goals ain't coming back. There's got to be something other.
But you are going to use that money because that's really 3 or 4 players for the $22 million.
And somebody said the other day, if you're going to sign Sam Bennett, don't be looking for 40 goals at Christmas time.
No,
it's not going to happen. But you might get 12 or 15 on the way to a Stanley Cup.
And your team looks different. And keep in mind, if he's placed in a different situation, maybe he gets more power play time. Maybe he gets 60 points instead of 50.
Well, I'll put it to you this way: as far as an organization and the way that the people look at them, Sam Bennett, if he does leave the Florida Panthers, he will be a Matthew Tkachuk type influence on an organization.
Right.
And if it's Toronto, it's a completely game-changing player that thinks about things differently, has a different approach, because we always know what the Toronto guys have been known for skill and producing points. This guy's not. It's something completely different, and it would be very much needed if they could ever.
He's not known for producing points, but he's got 12 goals to lead the playoffs. Crazy.
Here's something else crazy, though. Would you take Sam Bennett on 7 years at 9, or you take Brad Marchand at 3 years at 7?
I'll take them both.
Yeah, I would love them both.
I don't care how long their contracts
I'd probably take Bennett because he's younger and he plays a more important position. He plays center. I think they need help up the middle of the ice.
Right.
But
talk about attitude.
Marchand would bring it as well. And I think that's – and again with Bennett, yes, he's not a 100-point guy. He's also not, Steven Lorentz.
Yeah, he's not a 12-goal guy.
Yeah. He's not on the fourth line. He's going to be on the third line with good players, or second line with good players and put up some good numbers.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to be awful for you. He's going to score 20 or 25 goals. And he brings a different component, different energy, and he'll perform in the playoffs. He's proven that.
It's pure fantasy to get both those guys, though, isn't it?
It is. And it's almost also, I can see the reaction from the rest of the league. All right, Florida beat you, so you just go and try to beat them.
Right.
But at least wouldn't be alone. If both guys get to free agency, a lot of teams will try to clear money and try to get both.
100%.
Because why wouldn't you? They're both winners. They're both right in the middle of everything.
I'm the other way. I'll take the D-man.
Ekblad?
Yep.
I don't think he's going here.
Do you concern yourself at all with the like whatever you got tested for, PEDs?
No.
Not at all.
I mean, not really. I mean,
he was taking something. He got clipped.
Sure.
And
But now he's not going to get clipped anymore. He's not going to be able to. But he's still a hell of a player, and he's a guy who can play. Like, that's an anchor number one defenseman. That's an anchor.
Is
That's
he
a
in the
guy-
hut?
No. The
Okay.
hut's only five deep.
Is that what was established? I didn't know that.
We were
Five-man
a
hut.
three-man hut
It's a
yesterday. I
three-man hut. It's a
expanded it to
five-man
five.
hut.
Five stools.
He's not in the hut.
Five stools at the
Five.
hut.